So we are going to move on to our next issue, so we could go through them. The next one is time management. And initially when we had the slide up, we had one that said Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the weekend. And we were talking to Mr. Ishaba about it this morning. And he was like, his first problem with the picture was that Friday is categorized as a part of the weekend. It's no longer a weekday. That Friday is now rest the entire day. And so I just wanted to ask, how critical is it that we plan every single day? We plan every minute of every day. What about flexibility? You know, going with the flow. This person comes, let's do this, we go and do that. That person comes, let's do this, we go and do that. And who exactly decides how we should spend our time? You know, and how does it affect the expectations of people in authority over us, like our parents, our teachers, and so on? Do you want to start, Rotimi?
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, see, I'm the type of person that likes to chill. I just like to go with the flow, as it's quite easy. I couldn't be bothered to plan anything. And then exams are a week away, and then I have to start reading, or else my parents will shout. So, but then, after a while, I realized that it wasn't working, like just playing up to the exams are around the corner, and then I have to read up overnight, and I start sleeping in classes and things like that. I realized that I have to start planning how I do things. But then, when it comes to planning, my plans and my parents' plans, they don't synchronize. My parents are the type of people that are like, read in the morning, first thing in the morning, so that you get it. And I like to sleep. I can't be waking up at 7 to read. It doesn't work for me. I'll just be sleeping in front of the book. It's not telling me, okay, if you can't read in the morning, okay, read before you go out to play, read before you watch TV. And then my friends, they come over. They don't even give me time to wait. By 10, they're already at the door. Wrote to me, let's go to Kule's house, let's go to this guy's house, let's go and play football, go and play FIFA. And I'm like, okay, let's go. And then by the time I get back home, it's like 6:37. And then I have to read or rest, because you can't do two of them at the same time. So I think that it's worthwhile to plan your time properly, or else you just be messed up. But when it comes to planning, I think that there has to be compromise, or else if my parents say I should read in the afternoon or in the morning, I'll just end up wasting that time and then using it to play, and then I actually don't achieve anything at the end of the day. So I think that it has to be, you also have to take it upon yourself that you have to read and use the timetable properly, or else you might just end up wasting time. And then did about Friday being part of the weekend. See, there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There's enough time to read. We go to school. I spend at least 8 hours in school, and then I think in SS2, my parents used to make me go after school to this South Creek place to read for like 2 hours, 30 minutes, and just hungry and tired. So when I get home, first I just want to sleep. Then you now come and tell me on Friday again, when I was play basketball, that I should come and read. No, I believe it's part of the weekend, Sha. And that's my view on this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rotimi. So, Mr. Wonko, we'll move to you next. So, who should plan the time? Should we plan it? And any other thing you want to add?
Okay, I see time management as very critical to a child being successful, because it's a very scarce commodity, time. You have 24 hours in a day, and much of the 24 hours you can't manage because they are beyond you. You take a student that goes to school, I think he's supposed to be there by 8 o'clock and will not leave until 3 o'clock, which means that he can't manage that. It's already managed for him. And that means that it is very important that we have to manage time. And in managing time, I can just give what I may call actual examples with my own children. We had issues with managing time, so we decided to have, I'm an economist by background, a macro view of time. And that is for 365 days in 1 year. So in November, December of every year, even while there were 10, we used to have goals for the coming year. Things we want to achieve in the coming year. And we have the strategic approaches as to how to achieve them. We agreed that that was what we were going to do. So they will come with their own goals, and I will come with my own. I'm not doing it just to watch their own. And we'll have a meeting on the 31st. We sit down, we criticize. If you say you want to come first or you want to come second, you tell us how you want to come that first. It's not just about coming first. And we used to have quarterly reviews. Every quarter we sit down and say, okay, how have we fared in managing these goals? And we came to the point that it is time that is very important to achieving success. The child in school requires parental advice, but it's not parental imposition on what to do and how to do it. With my own children, we agreed that, and that I told them from experience, my own experience in secondary school, while you prepare to read in the night, there is this psychological thing that you read in the night. I said, I discovered that between 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I'll be going around asking one student, do you have cola? And all that. And it will take 2-3 hours to get cola, and that I would have wasted those 3 hours. And start at 10 o'clock or so to read. One, it is illegal because I was in a boarding house, so I'll be hiding from the housemasters and all that stuff. And by 1 a.m., I say, hey, I've read till 1 a.m. But that when you look at the quality reading, how much time did you actually spend in reading? You discover that you didn't spend up to 1 hour. And I said, look, what this has taught me is that we need to utilize the day very well. How much of the day did you utilize? Yes, there must be planning in managing time. That planning must be with parents and the child. And I think that the child has to be open to these issues. We identify in managing time, you identify time wasters. You know there are time wasters. What are the time wasters? TV is one. Friends is 2. Game 3. BB. So these are time wasters. We identify the time wasters. And we say, okay, if these are time wasters, how do we tackle the time wasters? We even want the students. I will tell them how I tackle my own time wasters. Because it's not only the students that need to manage time. Adults manage time. In fact, in one of the churches we attended before, we had to almost threaten to send that pastor to school for time management. Yes, because at a point you say, I will not stop on the Holy Spirit tells him to stop. You say, no. You need to manage your time. So it's a very important thing. And friends, it's not, when a friend comes, okay, let's go and play football. Did you, in your plan of things for the day, was it football that was there? It's an important question you ask yourself. I have a goal for the year. I have a goal for the quarter. I have a goal for the week. I have a goal for the day. And these are things you constantly review to ask yourself, okay, how much of these goals have I achieved? If I haven't achieved much of them, why didn't I achieve? Is it the friends? So you prioritize. You bring the friends down the ladder. It's not that you're not going to talk to your friends, or I'm not talking to me alone, but I'm just just as a result of what he said. So these are the things we need to handle and handle very carefully, because it's also important to know that teenagers that are very busy people. They have assignments, in fact, the kind of assignments they have these days. They have assignments, they have even the TV to watch, they have the internet to deal with, which in my own years I didn't have. So which means they have challenge to manage their own time. And that means they have to be a lot more active, they have to be a lot more serious in managing the time. I had a house help sometime, and I told him, look, your problem is you don't manage your time. You are going to Kota market, and you saw a friend that is going to Aja. Then you follow him to Aja. You didn't have, by the time you left VGC, you didn't have any plan of going to Kota. So you're not managing your time. So that is the same as managing friends. If a friend wants you to do one thing and it is not in your plan at that point to do that, then you don't have to do it. Then you prioritize the things you have to do for the day. In managing time, you allocate time to the things that are more difficult at the time you are fresh. Let's take this example. I know that there are some students that like mathematics a lot and they don't like English. Or students that like English a lot and they don't like mathematics. So which one do you do when you are freshest? Is it the subject you like or the subject that you're having a challenge with? So in managing time, you allocate the time you are very fresh to the course that is more challenging to you at that point in time until you really overcome that course. And these are the things we have to do constantly. And at the end of the week, if you're actually managing time, because you have had a plan, you have your timetable that you prepared for yourself. Perhaps somebody else may have to discuss the timetable with you. When you prepare that timetable, it is just not for your book, it is not for your wall, it's not for your desk. It is for you at the end of the week. Ask yourself, how did I follow this schedule that I planned for myself? And I think by the time you do it, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's something that you have to do over and over again until you get used to them. And always note that those time wasters must be overcome for you to manage your time well. That's some other question you asked?
I think you addressed almost everything.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, I just like to add this dimension just to fundamentally say that we will get the teenagers that is a reflection of who we the adults are. There's no gainsaying about it, no matter what the topic, no matter how. It is who we the are. For example, talk about Fridays being a part of the weekend. I don't know how you want to heap it on the teenager. When in all the offices, Fridays you can wear jeans. When you wear suit and tie Monday to Thursday, the attitude is the weekend has come. I don't know how it's going to be teenagers' problem. When you want to travel, you know, you can afford to just escape on Friday and you take everybody along or whatever. These are attitudes that have come from and even from the general system in the country. That's the way if you are in the north, Friday, I beg your pardon, is an official holiday. You just go to work, and once it is 11 o'clock, everybody, the whole system shuts down. So, you know, why I'm making this point is that a lot of the things that we're talking about, we're going to have to get back to us as adults, as mothers and fathers, and see how maybe unconsciously these attitudes have been created, and so the children, you know, like, I mean, it's not that it's wrong to wear jeans to work, but when you wear jeans on Friday, you're automatically saying it's a loose day, you know? So if, for example, the child picks it up and say, well, on Friday we do less work, are you getting it? then it's not the fault. We now have to go back and have a little bit of a paradigm shift and say, well, it can be less work for me as an adult at work, but in terms of you that have not yet finished, there are assignments to be done. If it has to be done on Friday, you have to do it. Don't carry the attitude of Friday is not a day that you can work. So what I'm trying to say is that every teenager in our house, we have to kind of look inwards and see how we can manage to get that teenager to believe what is right and what to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. As you were saying that, I remembered in school we have what we call Sunday night pile-up. It's when you don't do any homework Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday night, you sit down and try to do everything that you have to do before Monday morning, and it's just a terrible habit. So does anybody else have anything to add from our audience about it? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank you very much for the opportunity. The issue of timetable, planning yourself, as our brother has said, is very, very critical. And we ignore it, it's to our parents. Because even in the school, there's a timetable for you to follow to receive your lectures. They will not do anything without giving you a timetable to follow. On Monday, you have your maths, English, and they give it to you as something for you to follow. You also need your personal timetable to really comprehend. I'll give you maybe 3 short testimonies. When I was in secondary school, I wasn't doing well in maths. And then, at that time, there was no sparing the cane. So I get all the beatings. And I will be the first person because I was short, smallish in the front row. And they always start the first person with me. So our principal wants us to mentally develop and pick up our book, walk it in the space, and set the answer out. I couldn't do that. Then it just occurred to me that I was not practicing the night before the lecture. So we have maths tomorrow. I have not revised my maths tonight. Then I was not going to be very good in the class. But when I began to do that, then I found out that math was so easy. And I worked the whole songs out before we got, because I don't know the one they're going to ask me to do. So you get yourself prepared. So your timetable must reflect the one in the school. And also, then follow it up as they have said. Really, we just mentioned piling up at weekends. Not only on weekends. Once you started sleeping by every day, it gets you into a vicious circle. You just begin to turn around. And if you are abroad, there's no one to talk to. It can break you down, you become all kinds of problems. Now, what I said to Olamide when we were going, we were monitoring ourselves through this. This already has some positive effects. For Olamide, just send me your to-do list for the day. That's all. And then at the end of the evening, you will tell me what you have done out of 5 or 6 items. And then tell me why you have not done. So she was my girlfriend. She opens my mail. She was also, if she hasn't received anything from me, she wasn't happy. I opened my mail in the morning. She was there. Daddy, this is what I'm going to do in the morning. And in the evening, she would say, I've done the following. I couldn't do this. We were getting that 365 days. Now for Mojola, I gave him a slogan. Just do a day's job. That's all. You get into the lecture, the lecturers have poured out his mind. The only day you can make your note right is that day. You didn't sit down to put all those misses out that very day. Forget about it. First class is sleeping by. Second class upper is sleeping by. So you go back to third class. So on that very day, when you have just one of our friends that graduated from Unilag, the first set of architecture in Unilag, this guy, he would come back from lecture and will sit back that very night, position himself, will be imagining where the lecturer, and you will still remember those words in your brain. The computer we're talking about, if you open a file and if you just keyed in all words in that particular file, until you switch it off, it will still be on the screen. The moment you switch it on and you didn't save it, what is it? So that very day, you confirm your lecturer what he or she has said, and you will update your notes. And then on that day, there will be no missing. Then you are not postponing to the next day. You don't need up to 2 hours that very day to do all those things, because they will still be fresh in your. But the following day, something else has erased the one of yesterday, but you already have it written down. So when you are doing revision, it will come back. So really, you need to plan yourself. The third one was that I think we said Olamide should do GCE. She had only 1 month and 10 days. She was in SS2. So we now said, okay, go and do your timetable and then come back to us. So she went and wrote 3 broad times of the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. This is what I was studying. And then we say, okay, devote some times for this. We didn't do it for her, but we taught her the process. So we wasn't teach them, we wasn't give them our own timetable, but we allow them to what? Prepare the timetable and help them to prepare the timetable and also help them to follow through. For 1 month and 10 days, we got a teacher as well, and then she had her own timetable to revise. And she has 6 subjects. 3 A's, 3 credits. Even at that level, she was ready to go to the English and math. But what I'm saying is that all the athletes we saw today, they have discipline. It is a discipline to really have timetable and keep to it. You are just telling people that you are a disciplined guy. Now, Sebastian Coe won 2 international Olympic medals. I was studying in England at that time. Now that he was doing master's program in geography in the University of Sheffield. They asked him, why did you break 2 world records, 800 meters and 1500 meters? In a row. He said, well, I wake up to run 7 miles in the morning before everybody woke up, and I will run another one in the evening. Why did you find the time? He said, well, the time we sit around television was far more than the time he was using to build up his skill. Really, internet is good, and we must focus on the positive aspect of it. But it is a time waster. I mean, I'm glad that Mojola was able to know this. He will be playing game with the head turning like this finger and how we want to. But when he got to university, then the works are staring at him. He never had time for games anymore. Because there's so much to do that to be running away from it and doing what is not really necessary. There won't be time to play it, but there will be no time to be in part 1 and part 2, because you have only that time to do part 1 and succeed at that time. May the Lord help us in Jesus' name.
Thank you very, very, very much, sir.